Oh, did you hear that?
Here, listen to this.
All right, we are live. It is the Rudy Funk Show, and we are ready to try another beer. And today, we're going to try the Dream Weaver. The Dream Weaver, unfiltered by Troegs. You think it's pronounced?
Troegs.
Troegs. Not Strohs, Troegs. But yeah, let's take a look at that bad boy there. Yeah, we're going to do one of our all-time favorites, cream of wheat, with our other good friend here. We're going to go with a Guinness. Troegs. I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh, draft. I'm just kidding. All right. And we're going to use, I still don't know what Baltica means, but because I procrastinate and I don't feel like Googling it. But we like our glass. We like our draft glass. So we are going to pour this in, and then we're going to top it with our good friend Guinness Troegs. We're going to use this. See that? Little trick, handy little trick we found. Away we go. Oh, yes. Good move, my wonderful assistant. Was it a fart? A fart. Ooh, it smells good. I am going to take a sip of this first just to try it by itself because it is a new beer and I want to try it by itself before I top it with some Guinness. But ooh, it smells real good. We're going to go 45-degree angle. You know, that's what we do. Always. Here we go. Ooh. Oh, we're getting lots ahead. Quick. You know, I might let this set a little bit. Okay, and one of the cool things about this I've never tried before is it's unfiltered. You see on the bottom there? We are unfiltered, and that means they didn't filter it. So, in case you didn't know. But, you know, it doesn't really, maybe I do. I don't really see a bunch of shit floating around or, you know, it looks like any other wheat beer I've ever seen, you know. It's an attractive beer, that's for sure. Yeah, it looks good. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it first. Ooh, it smells really good. Bob, how are you, buddy? Oh, it's pretty good. Okay, I'm not gonna drink too much of it. It's pretty good. Yeah, let me read some of the shit on the bottle. There's shit on the bottle. Government warning. According to the certain... Okay, not that one. The dream begins with... Oh, this is really small shit here. Oh, for God's sake, give me my fucking phone light. There we go. The dream begins with open top fermentation at high Krausen, a foamy, rocky yeast head crests the size of the fermenter, releasing notes of black pepper and spicy clove. Black pepper, huh? I didn't taste any black pepper yet. I don't know, maybe we'll finish up with that. Unfiltered and cloudy with yeast. It's slightly tart and downright refreshing. It's a 4.8%. Yeah, I mean, it's a little cloudy. It wasn't as cloudy as I thought it would be because it is unfiltered. So, and I'm not cutting on it by any means because it is a really delicious beer. But we're going to top it with some Guinness, and we're going to make one of our all-time favorites. Oh my God. Government got cameras in your beer. Yeah, They're coming to get me, Bob. They are coming to get me. All right, so yeah, if you guys ever want to check anything out unfiltered, this really tastes like a pretty good wheat beer. So that's what she looks like there, and she does have a very nice body on her. But it's not like if I saw it next to another wheat beer, I wouldn't. It's not like outstanding or anything, and I don't mean outstanding as if. I mean, it doesn't really stand aside appearance-wise. It's just a good-looking beer. It's got a nice head on it too. I mean, look at the. It's grabbing the glass like we like. So we're going to make it grab the glass a little bit more and top it with some Guinness. And how do we do that? Well, first we get a napkin because I'll be spilling it all over the fucking place. But we use our nifty little. See it? I don't even need to do that, but yeah. We're going to use our ice cream scoop, and we're going to drop it right in there and release it with our little button, and it should fall and top right on this. And the first one's always the worst. I always get better as the night, but it's just hard to believe because you're more buzzed, from drinking. But the second one's always better. So I don't know. Maybe I'll work through this one pretty good. And, maybe I shouldn't have drank them. Because it's probably going to be easy to drop on there, but here we go. We are going to, that's left-handed. I like the right-handed, so don't tell nobody. Okay, we are going to just barely drop that in there. I'm going to try to barely drop it in there. Slow as molasses. Why is molasses slow?
Viscosity.
Did you say viscosity? Yeah, we got a bookworm. There's a bookworm amongst us. Slow. And it's starting to cloud up on me a little bit because I think the glass is very tall, so there's more space between the bottom of the ice cream scoop and the top of the beer. The head did diminish a little bit. I waited too long because I took a couple sips out of it, but the general effect is clearly there. And we are going to very much enjoy this beer. Very much. Yeah, one of my all-time faves. We're gonna put a shitload of Guinness in this son of a bitch. We love our Guinness here, baby. We are starting to peter out. Yeah, let's look at that. It did cloud up on the border a little bit for me. It's supposed to sit right on that head, but you guys can't even really see it, can you? Let me drop it down for you. You see that? It's a pretty good looking beer there. Not bad for the first time. Not bad. See that? Oh, and it's working already. How about that? So yeah, let's cheers to you guys. We know what this is going to taste like this first. Hey, Nate, how are you, brother? Here we go. Our cream of wheat. Pretty good looking beer, huh? And just another quick story. I was at the Winking Lizard. We just came back from a baseball game, and I had a buddy of mine turn me on to this. And I don't know if you guys ever saw or watched any Bugs Bunny, but there's a great episode where Bugs Bunny's fucking with this opera dude, and he winds up becoming Leopold to make him sing real long and loud and do a bunch of dumb shit to him. And as Leopold's walking out, the audience is going, Leopold, Leopold, Leopold. And I kind of had this experience at the Winking Lizard because I went up and I got one of these, and nobody else in the bar had one. So as I'm walking away, everybody's like looking like, what the hell is that? Because it looks so good. This isn't as good as it should look, but it's got, it's a little dreamy right in the middle there. And there's normally when you do it right, there's a better border there. But, I got a few asks as to what the hell this was and what the hell I was doing with this beer. And a couple of, patrons got them after I walked past them. So that's my Leopold story. Well, When's the last time you had a Guinness? It's been a while.
I've never tried.
You never tried it? You want to try it? Now, you know what? You should do it in a glass just to see what the Guinness is made of. And as you let it get your palate a little bit, you'll realize why they call it cream of wheat, because the Guinness is the cream and the wheat is obviously the wheat. So
You've had it before, right?
Guinness? No.
they look
With
scared.
cream.
Oh yeah, I did have Guinness with cream.
Mm.
Very dark.
Oh, but look,
In the
see,
bottle.
look at the webbing there. You see how it just grabs? It just totally. It's almost like it's like a root beer float.
Yeah.
You know, the appearance. You know, obviously it doesn't taste like it, but if you you get the roasted chocolate, kind of almost coffee-ish type taste to it. It's really good. It takes a little getting used to. First time it's a little shocking, I think. Somebody drinks a Guinness and they're not. If they're a Bud Lighter, if they're
Guinness definitely.
even just a wheat, if you're expanding into the wheats and then you take and drink a Guinness, it's a little bit shocking. But
The Guinness.
I'm so jealous. I'm still at work. Nathaniel, go home, buddy. What the hell are you doing at work, pal? I'm sorry, man. It's fucking late, dude. What are you doing watching me at work anyway? Get to work, dude. Mm.
I wanted to try Guinness after at Sunset Grill. I was watching the bartender pour it from the tap, and it was like 3 different colors. Like it just looks good.
Oh, like what it just by itself? What it looks
Yeah.
in the glass? Oh, you know what? We got to do that tonight. We'll do a straight Guinness pour tonight because you really need to see all the ingredients manifest when you pour. Because it heads up
It looks good.
real big, and then it just kind of.
The oxidation.
We got a bookworm here. I just got to warn you. It's probably going to be happening for a couple hours here, and that's not going to be the last time I say it either. Yeah, we'll do that. So on to the subject of tonight is Big Ben. It looks like Big Bun, Big Bunyan. It looks like Big Ben's getting his shit together, man. And on many episodes of the Rudy G. Funk Show, we do. It's so much easier to do what you guys hear because I'm, trying to entertain everybody. But we do want Pittsburgh to be good. And I mean, I don't want to say we. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I do. If we get into the playoffs, like I think we will, one thing we need battle tested. And if we want to win a game in the playoffs, we do want the AFC North to be good. We want to work our way through a good AFC North. And we want Ben firing on all pistons. I want to beat. I want to beat a good Ben Roethlisberger, and we're going to get one. It looks like and it sounds like he is raring to go again. Like he's ready to keep on going like he's been going. I mean, he's going to go in history as one of the best all-time quarterbacks ever, and he's not done. And I must say, even though he is a Pittsburgh Steeler, and I say this in all honesty. You Pittsburgh guys, I love having you on the show. There's still a rivalry. I mean, I still want to see Pittsburgh lose, man. Especially by our hand. And I think it's really cool that everything that's happened with Pittsburgh now, and especially. A lot of the media and fan coverage of these guys are talking these guys down a lot, and not only that, but they're talking the Browns. We're all talking the Browns up a lot, and it's nice to see that, and it's nice to feel that Ben still wants to whoop the Browns' ass, man. And this is exactly what we want. I'm sorry, I keep saying we. This is exactly what I want. I do want Cincinnati, the Ravens, and Pittsburgh be very good teams, and I want to beat these very good teams. And I've really got a feeling, not just because I think we're really good this year. Pittsburgh is going to show up, and so are the Ravens. I'm not really sure about Cincinnati. Andy starts off well sometimes, and we talked about Andy Dalton in some of his seasons. And I don't want to say everybody agrees with me or anything, but as a veteran, man, sometimes he hits the ground running, and they start winning some games, and they look like a threat. So I wouldn't be surprised if we even see that this year, with everybody throwing them to the curb, with the kind of cloud that Hugh put on them. I think a little bit, and they finally kind of just released him, and he seems to be totally out of the picture now of football. I mean, for the most part, but. When I listen to Ben now, he does seem like it's no big deal at the same time as making it a big deal, which is Ben, which is what he does, which I like, I mean, I like Ben. He's a good enemy, man. He's a good Brown killer, and it's going to be nice to see that it's going to be a fucking battle this year with these guys. They're going to be good games. I mean, unless we totally get our asses whooped, I think we're going to be wrestling there, man. We're going to be in the trenches. These are going to be close games, I think, and it's going to be a really fun year. I really think, not just because the guys that we have, the asses. Boy, we've really accumulated some asses over the years, I tell you. But that is really cool. That is what I want as a Browns fan. I don't want any. I don't want any bad calls getting us wins. I don't want to be our we're already hearing like our season's going to be easy because of our schedule. I don't think it's as easy as a lot of people think, because I do think I think Big Ben and the Steelers are coming. They're not done by any means. And like I think a couple of episodes ago, I talked about one of my Pittsburgh buddies, Pittsburgh Mike, the Brew. He sent me an article with some stats about Big Ben before the Bees became the Killer Bees. And this, obviously Ben was good before they got there, and he's still good. He's still tearing it up last year. He had a really great year last year, passing wise. It's cool to see that he ain't done. It's cool to see that, even with the extension, I think he got another a 2-year extension onto his last year. So he's got 3 more years. So I'm guessing Ben's also trying to keep Mason out of the mix too. I think that was another thing in one of my videos, one of my first videos. I think it was Battle of Bedlam or something like that. I can't remember which one it was, but I was talking about how kind of almost right off the bat, Ben was given signs that they shouldn't have taken Mason Rudolph, that he's not done, that they should have been adding assets to the team instead of looking for the next Ben, who I think Mason is. So he's kind of got Mason crawling up his butt. He's got the other Bees that left, and he's got everybody harping on the Browns as going to be the favorite in the AFC North. So there's lots of reasons for Ben to go out there and make a statement that he's one of the best that's ever played. And I do believe that. I hate him. I can't stand him. I mean, not personally, obviously, but Big Ben, he beats us a lot, man. And it'd be nice to see our turnaround start happening this year. Now, Bob, if you're still on, we were doing the 12-4 plus thing that I believe is very possible this year. I do think we're going to lose one of these games, which could be good for us. And I know that sounds stupid. The whole win by losing, that's kind of dumb, and I kind of get that. But there has to be some adversity. And I think some of it's going to come from Pittsburgh. Some of it's going to come from the Ravens. Probably from, the 49ers too. Like I was saying, Seattle we have also. I picture some really good adversity this year, but I still think we're going to make the playoffs, and I think who knows, we might win a game in the playoffs. So I still back up my 12-4 plus, and I really appreciate that Ben is still out there, and he's rallying his troops. Yeah, look, it kind of. See, that wasn't a very good pour. The first one, you see how it just kind of bled right through to the bottom. It's still delicious. It's a great mix, but oh, that's good. You want to try this? It might be mixed up. You might be able to taste a little bit of the wheat. Do you taste a little bit of the wheat? Just a little, no? I don't know.
It tastes good.
Yeah, it is good. But look at that. See that Guinness? Nobody does that like
It
Guinness.
just dark.
Yeah, it turns people off sometimes. I think that it's so coffee-ish. Because when you think coffee, you think, well, when I drink coffee, I want to drink coffee.
Mm-hmm.
When I drink beer, I want to have like a Bud Light taste or, just a beer taste or whatever. These are really good though, man. And as you get to drinking like 2 or 3 of them, they're not heavy at all, which is really weird because they're very dark, but they're very delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep drinking it. Yeah, I think the next one's gonna be better. It's gonna be much better. So, oh hey, good morning. The brew is here. I just mentioned you that article. This particular episode isn't about that article, but I did refer that article about Ben that you sent me to look at. Oh, there's Joey. Oh, cool. Hey, I appreciate you stopping and saying hi, and I had a good time BSing last week. It was a good weekend. Nice and quiet, us just bullshitting. It was pretty cool. God bless you guys. Tell Roach I said yo, man. And the beer's working here. So, and in case you missed the beginning, brew, I topped Guinness on top of this here. I don't know if you ever had that. It's supposed to be unfiltered, as you can see at the top of the on top of the Dream Weaver there. I'm not really buzzed yet, but I keep fucking up my words, so it's not the beer. I'm just stupid. Oh, cool. Yeah. I still, we got a Giant Eagle around here, and it's got like a really, really decent, a lot of craft beers and stuff. I mean, you could be sitting there looking for a half hour just reading shit. But real interesting, well, not a real interesting story, but I kind of got to tell you this because how I wound up with the unfiltered going underneath the Guinness. I don't think so. These Troegs, did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these guys go, they're independent. Let's see where they're from. Oh, Hershey, Pennsylvania. So that's why you've seen it. So it's right there in the neighborhood there, huh? Oh, yeah, Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's cool. Where is it? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they make that in PA. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Let me tell you how I wanted to find my son and his girlfriend are here, and they're just kind of hanging out and laughing at how stupid I am and shit. Not a real interesting story, but I just kind of thought it was funny. Not necessarily a divine intervention or anything that strong or whatever. But I was talking to a buddy at work, and we were talking beer. which happens probably far too often at work. But this dude is kind of like Joe and Roach. You know, he's tried a lot of beers, a lot of them, and he was giving me a couple of recommendations. He told me in a conversation we were having to try Bell brand beers, and I might like their wheat. And I remember telling him I've heard of it, but I don't know if I've seen it like around. This ties into the Giant Eagle shit. And then a little bit later, I was telling him kind of like how it's a lot easier for me to drink a beer personally, depending on how it looks. You know, no different than a woman or anything. You know that it's if it's attractive, you know, want to keep drinking it. It's not just taste. It's social. It's psychological. It's attractive. And it's not everything to me by any means, because it's got to ultimately its taste, but you know, it makes me want to keep reaching for it. And he asked me if I ever tried any ciders, like a hard or a dry cider, and you know, obviously I told him no, that wasn't my thing. And then he had mentioned how they make unfiltered beers, where I might, you know, when I talk about the Guinness and how great it looks when it recovers from its pour, and seen the ingredients and nutrients in it, he said maybe I should try an unfiltered beer. You know, I was like, wow, that sounds interesting. I think I'd like that. You know, so that day, you know, I went to go get my beers for the weekend. You know, and I knew I wanted to make a cream of wheat, and I knew I wanted to change the wheat from the Hoegaarden that you would normally drink, was the original cream of wheat, I believe. And so I show up at this Giant Eagle shit. Hey, Steele, how are you, brother? So I show up at this Giant Eagle shit, and they got a pretty good display of the craft beers, you know, all the regular stuff. And they got like their own beer guy there. He handles the beer section, and I think there's wine and spirits in the other room. It's kind of like right in the middle of the grocery store, which is, it's just a different world. You know, you walk around grocery shop and all of a sudden you walk into this beer section. It's just like you walk into a different building, you know. And so I got my fucking Googles on, you know. I'm doing this, you know. I'm checking out the different beers. I'm trying to read labels, and you know, what do I do? You know, I'm looking like a fucking nerd. Well, this dude walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, can I help you?" Which is, you know, he's supposed to. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing, you know, I explained it to him. I'm doing a cream of wheat this weekend, but I wanted to top it with a different wheat beer. And like I said, it's not divine intervention or anything like that. But he goes, hey, have you ever tried Bell's wheat? You know, and I was just like, and I looked at him funny, and he looked at me funny because I looked at him funny. And I was like, you know what? Like hours ago, I was just talking about that beer. I'd never tried it, but I had heard of it. So he goes, here, it's over here. He walks me over to it. He's like, you know, pretty good American wheat beer. You might want to check it out. I was like, oh, cool, I'll take it. You know, so I already got my Guinness, grabbed my wheat beer, and I'm walking away. And as I'm walking away, I'm like, thanks. I'll probably see you next week, you know. And he kind of turns to me and he goes, well, hey, just in case I don't see you, I got another beer for you. And then he pulls up this. He goes, this is, and he says the name, and I kind of forgot how to pronounce it, but you know, he's like, try this beer. It's like an unfiltered. And I was like, unfiltered? Oh, I swear to God, I was just talking about that hours ago, you know? So I wound up picking up this instead. So that's my divine intervention story, which isn't a very big deal. Hey, King, how you doing, buddy? How's those push-ups going, dude? They doing good? How are you, King? So anyway, yeah, that was my beer story that I was very pleased that he wound up out of nowhere recommending and right. So you know what I didn't know that they had that big of a section. I was pretty impressed. They were a lot bigger than a lot of the stuff I got around my place. So I was really impressed when I went there. They had a lot of stuff. Of course, you know, especially now they were like fully stocked with the IPAs. You know, those things are just like flying off the fucking shelves, man. But yeah, my boobies itch. But yeah, what was So yeah, that's my beer story. I thought I had another one for you, but I don't. I'm sweating like a stuck pig. But anyway, yeah, I got my googles, got my beer. I'm ready to pour another one. But look at that. Oh, I just love that. Look at what Guinness does to it. That's just great webbing right there. That pleases me. So in case you guys missed the first one, I'll pour another one for you. In case you guys never topped anything with a Guinness. It's really fun to do, especially if you like. Yeah, it's not. It's pretty good. I did take a sip. I'm not going to do it this time because it kind of messed up my topping of the beer because I kind of put it too low. This is pretty long glass, so you can't really dip that far into it to get your pour on. But it was pretty good. Cheers, brother. Awesome. God bless you guys, man. You guys be safe. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Oh, King, how are you, buddy? Yeah, King's got a pretty cool channel. He does push-ups for autism or something like that. I was following him, and that was pretty cool. And I appreciate that you do that, King. Mm. Oh yeah, see, that's a pretty good mix too. Yeah, that wheat beer, but it was pretty light. I think it's what was it? What did I say it was? Um, what percent alcohol? Oh, it's only 4.8, so it's not anything ridiculous. Maybe a little bit lower than I want, but not. I'm after that one, I'm starting to feel a little bit of a buzz, but not too much, just like I like it. I want to have a few, I don't want to just have one or two and call it quits. I like to drink into the evening and have a nice soft landing. But I get shit popping up here. You have to excuse me. Okay, we're out of here. But yeah, we're gonna pour another one here. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a nice finish. So that was, because I wasn't into the craft beers as much. That was the one thing I really. Hey, Random, how you doing? Looking cute. That's funny. That's funny, Random. Wow, we got a couple of Pittsburgh guys in here, don't we? Oh, wait a minute. King, you're Washington, aren't you? You're a Redskins fan? We got San Fran. We got Pittsburgh. Jesus Christ. 13-3? Wow. Where are those 3 losses coming from? Oh, Ravens. That's right. I'm sorry, King. Yeah, that was Big Simple. That was Redskins. Yeah, pardon me, buddy. I'm gonna go grab a couple more beers. We're gonna get our pour on here till we got a couple of watchers here. So yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab. Oh, I still got some in here. Yeah, I'll be right back. I gotta go this way. God damn it. Oh, there we go. So anyway, you guys, you know that obviously you probably saw the title. I wanted to talk about Big Ben tonight, and I don't know, if you guys even want to talk about him trying to recover with the AB thing and all that shit. But most of all, I'm excited that he's doing the stuff. I think it was McVane. I was watching. He was talking about he's holding parties for the guys. He's showing up for OTAs. He's doing all kinds of cool stuff that he hasn't done, kind of in the name of trying to be a better leader. And that just excites me, man. It really does. And I mean what I said, that I want the AFC North to be the best, you know. And if I'm going to come out of something, I want to come out of a good conference, battle tested, and I mean that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got San Fran. Yeah, we're going to do this again. Here we go with a 45-degree pull. So if none of you guys tried an unfiltered beer, oh, that's forming up big time there. I gotta settle it down a little bit. I don't see like a huge difference in the filtered stuff. I thought I would see a difference. Maybe I just don't have the eye that I thought I did. But oh, you think so, Bob? I don't know, man. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Brew. I think even the Stumbler, I think, thinks I don't like, and I've said this before, thinks I don't like Lamar Jackson. And it's not that I don't like the dude. I'm not a big running quarterback guy. Yeah, I think I get that, and this could be different though, because me kind of amateur scouting Lamar, I thought a lot of his passing was actually pretty decent. I think when he got into the NFL, he had no trouble running. I thought his passing game was a little fast for him. Everybody's a little bit faster. Is he a better runner than a passer? I do believe that. But I don't think he's like a clown. I think his game is going to get a little bit sharper this year. And I think they're going to be a better adversary this year, to be honest with you. I don't think they're going away either. I think his passing game will take a little step up, not a step back. That's just my opinion. Just because of watching him, I didn't think he was that bad. He seemed to adjust to the game well, I thought, in college. With everybody a little faster, a little stronger, everything has to be a little bit quicker. I think it was just a little too fast for him. And it's one of those rookie things. I think it happens to a lot of them. Maybe he had a little trouble adjusting to it. But I think he's going to be a little bit better this year. I don't think he's going to fail or anything. He'll start working on his game, and he'll adjust to that speed, I think. But once again, I want to whoop the shit out of him because obviously we're Browns here. But let me get this Guinness poured, and I'll start flattening my big ass lips again. I got my Googles back on, so I can. I don't know if you guys can really see this, but yeah, we got pretty good head without the Guinness. But we love the Guinness head. It is spectacular. So here we go. We got our little ice cream thingy. See our little thing? That's what we use to drop it in there. Oh, hey, Colin. Is your match with Mark Hall on Flow Wrestling?
Track wrestling.
What is it?
Track wrestling.
He says track wrestling. Just like it sounds, TRACK?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on track wrestling.
You won't see much.
Okay, we're gonna drop this in. Did you get that, Brew? We're going to drop ever so gently into the mix. Here we go. And remember, this is an adult channel. If you're a child, don't watch this. Shut it off. If you're a parent watching your child watch this, no, I'm just kidding. I just feel like I need to say that. Oh, there we go. We're dropping it in there. We kind of ran out of beer here, but... the effect is astonishing. Now, that is a good border cream of wheat right there. You see how it just stops there? I nailed it this time. The second one's always better. It's always better. It kind of reminds me. There used to be a candy. It was like multicolored. It was like a hard, soft candy. Yeah. I don't wish harm. Yeah. Oh, that's delicious. I guess what I was trying to articulate earlier was when I was making my way into the craft beers. This was always one of my favorites because of the finish. You know, it's how many times you drink a domestic beer and you get down to that last sip. And I've talked about this before, but I just want to reiterate. You get down to that last sip, you can like pour it out. You know, it's half of it's your spit. This you don't care. You got this nice mix of Guinness and another great beer, a wheat beer usually. Don't get me wrong. There's always the Dortmunders. There's you got your black and gold. You got your black and blue. Everything you can kind of like, you can do this with for the most part. But that last drink is like almost better, because it's like this wonderful marriage at the bottom of the. Yeah, not bad. I mean, we're clouding up a little bit because I'm fucking around holding it and not drinking it, and shame on me. But yeah, that's good stuff, man. Oh, that Guinness is just a nice start. Red. That's funny, Bob. That's funny. Don't forget your red and gold. So yeah, I don't know, guys. Have any of you guys been listening to Ben lately? Because he really looks like he's full force into trying to gel this team. And I don't know, maybe is it kind of like what you were talking about, Brew? Now that the other Bs are gone, I don't want to say he's acting like he's relieved, but maybe the teacher likes his class better. Does that make sense to you? Almost like he likes this generation class better than the last, and we're going to gel better than we ever did. And he's never said this. I just kind of get the feeling that now that these guys are gone, he seems all in. And one of the things he keeps saying every time I hear him talk is how he doesn't do social media, and I'm not trying to hack on it because I don't, for the most part, I don't do it besides YouTube. And this is what kind of makes me creep into what I had just said about what's up with Ben. It's kind of a bounce off. Well, I'm not really sure if he feels that way. Because he just got extended, so it looks like he was wanting to Mason Rudolph to wait even longer to get in there. But oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. The Guinness, what a great creamy top to that wheat. Yeah, Ben seems happy. He doesn't seem. Ben is really trying to do a good job of kind of trying to be the good guy here. With a lot of the stuff he was saying, how he was trying to text AB and call him, and trying to communicate on his end, and AB was just not having any of it. He's doing a lot of stuff to shield a lot of the media attention he's getting from the B side, from Antonio Brown and Le'Veon. And I think he's almost repaired it in a certain sense, where he's showing up in OTAs where do I understand this correctly, that he hasn't shown up for OTAs before? Has that been his normal pattern? Because that's kind of the impression I get from what McVane was saying. Not only is he showing up for OTAs, but he's like throwing parties for these guys. And somewhere they went somewhere and had some party, and he invited everybody. It seems like he's really trying to crack down and solidify the Steelers as almost some kind of new beginning. Now that they're gone, does that make sense? He's really trying to step into the good guy shoes here, I think. And I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. I'm just saying the way he sounds and the way he's carrying himself, he almost kind of makes it like what had gone on with them isn't really that big of a deal. I kind of get that impression too. How he executes a lot of his the questions that he's answering of the media. So I don't necessarily know if is that because AB come out and said that he's like two-faced. Like there's one Ben that you hear in the media, and there's another Ben. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I do know that I want him there still, and I want him at his best. I do certainly believe that. So, yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, and yeah, it's holding pretty good. Yeah, something about that. It's like you ever make pancakes, and that first one's always just fucked up because maybe the skillet isn't hot enough. It's too slow of a cook. That's kind of what happens when you do a topper like this, a Guinness topper. It's just your second one's just always better, and it's more delicious. But I think it's more of you just had one, and you can take that how you want. But oh, that is very good. But yeah, how you guys doing, man? I mean, besides if you guys don't want to flap your big ass lips about Ben, we can certainly change the subject. We don't have to just talk about Ben all night. But I just kind of wanted to certainly reiterate my kind of relationship with Ben. Obviously, he's not a friend or anything like that. But I mean, just that why I like or why he gets the respect that I think he deserves from Browns fans, and it's they whooped our ass for so long, and he's been very good for so long. I wonder what would happen if we would have drafted him instead of Charlie Fry. I mean, would Ben be the quarterback he is if we would have drafted him in 2004? I mean, what do you guys think? Yeah, it's hard to really contemplate because it was, I guess, not necessarily so long ago, but it was interesting. And this is kind of where everybody got mad at Sashi for the Carson Wentz. Some people were comparing him to Ben. So it was almost like, and we got Charlie Fry in the third round, which was significant to some people because they thought that Carson Wentz was the next Ben, and we had passed on Big Ben again and got another Charlie Fry and Cody Kessler because Cody Kessler was a third round pick. So you can see where everybody, kind of like what I talked about in my Carson Wentz kill Sashi Brown video, why everybody was so upset with that. I never thought Cody Kessler was a Charlie Fry. And I can't say I thought Carson Wentz was a Big Ben, Not that he's not good, and I'm not saying Carson Wentz is bad, but Ben doesn't get hurt every year, and I'm pretty sure Carson Wentz was hurt every year that he's played football, not just his NFL career, but I'm pretty sure he was hurt in college also, and I'm pretty sure Ben wasn't that kind of quarterback that got hurt all the time. Ben, can get run over by a car and he starts that, you're still, that's who Ben is, So, but you can see how that would manifest, if you kind of look at it that way. The Charlie Fry, Cody Kessler, Ben, Carson Wentz comparison. So Sashi got a lot of hate for that because they thought it was just a reoccurrence of. But that's what I asked you guys, man. Oh, do I think the Eagles should have made Nick Foles the starter? Oh man, that's a pretty difficult situation. What do you do with Carson? I mean, wow. That's like a Browns question right there. What the fuck do you do? Well, no, I don't. I mean, chances are, statistically, analytically, however you want to look at it, Carson's probably going to get hurt again. It's just in his nature, not to get hurt, but I mean, and not that he's necessarily a running quarterback, but the dude's trying out there. I mean, he's trying to get whatever yards he can. He's just kind of accident prone, I guess. I don't know how else to say it because he's a big dude. He's a sturdy dude. He's a strong dude. Carson has a lot of the accolades that you want in a quarterback. He's got a stronger arm than Nick Foles does. That's not my thing. I don't mind touch passers at all. I think Nick Foles is more of a touch passer, but he wins Super Bowls, So, I don't want to fall back on the, it's got to be it's a team effort, and that's everybody's fallback. The Eagles were a good team, and I have to say that they would have won a Super Bowl anyway, even with Carson, if he was not hurt. So I don't think I can necessarily deduce that into thinking that they should keep Nick Foles, and I don't know, what if they try to keep Carson Wentz as a backup or something? I'm not really sure how to, because you got marketability there. I think there'd be a lot of pissed off fans because I don't know, is it a 50-50 thing with them? What do you think? You think it's a 50-50 thing with Nick Foles? And I mean, I know he won a Super Bowl. So do you care about what the fans think or what the media thinks? What do you guys think? You think Nick Foles should have just kept him, started him, and kind of tried to market Carson Wentz out of there somehow, or try to get some draft picks for him? Or well, the Jags line was they were lacking chemistry. That's I'm gonna go ahead and verbalize it that way. I really don't. I heard they had a pretty good draft. If I'm not mistaken, Pro Football Focus, Common Man Football, these guys gave them pretty good accolades for their draft, but I don't know who the guys were or anything, or I can't remember or recall. I think Nick Foles is good. I don't think Foles is going to do as good as everybody thinks he is. Especially if I think that it is a team effort, and there were some very, very Brownsian things that happened with the Jags that last half of the season there that troubles me when watching it. And I don't know how much Jags you guys have watched at all, but I watched a couple of their whole games once Cody got in there, and there was a lot of disappointing things that were happening with them. Fournette was one thing. I can't remember if he was hurt but there was both Cody and what the hell's his name? I fucking forgot his name. Blake Bortles both had more rushing yards than Fournette did. which is sick. I mean, that's bad. And I get it because teams are, and I do believe this, the good teams are starting to conform, and they're going to be doing stuff like stopping the run and stuff like that. And when you got the Jags team that were lacking chemistry on their line, they were doing a lot of bad things. They were kind of falling apart. And that's why I say it's Brownsian kind of. Over the last 20 years, that's kind of how it usually pans out. Is the Browns are falling apart and the whole league seems to be conforming towards the end of the year. And Jags really looked like that to me. They were just kind of falling apart. They were lacking interest. Look at the Derrick Henry game. I mean, if you watch even just the highlights of those Derrick Henry runs, a lot of them there's just an effort lacking on that team, and you start putting shit like that on tape, and you start falling into that kind of loser mentality. It's hard to shed that stuff. I hope they do, because honestly, I want the whole league good, and I want to be battle tested no matter who we play, whether we're playing Seattle or San Fran. We want these guys to be good. I mean, that's all fun, and to be if Ben gets hurt, they're like, okay, we can whoop on the Steelers now. But I don't want that. I want to righteously beat teams. I think that's the best way to do it. But I need another drink of beer because I'm flapping my lips too much and I'm not drinking enough beer, I think. But I don't know. Yeah, that's a little weird. It's a little weird. As for Jacksonville, though, if I was to try to appraise this year, and that's like I said, I don't know the guys that they got and how much improved they are from the draft. But it seems like they needed the draft, and it's a very different, being the Browns this year and not needing the draft so much. And every team needs the draft, don't get me wrong. But a seriousness of the draft, a lacking in seriousness for the Browns fans and the Browns team. It's weird seeing a team like the Jags that seems to really yeah, God bless you, brother. Thanks for chiming in, man. Yeah, be safe, man. Be safe, buddy. It is weird seeing what happened to the Jags at the end of the year and what happened to Bortles and Kessler. As the year kind of petered out, I'm not. Good night, Mike. God bless you, brother. I don't necessarily think it was Blake and Cody's fault ultimately. It really was, and I hate to fall back on the team effort thing, but, I heard a lot of, even in the media, saying that the Jags were quitting. There was so much disruption, maybe locker room wise, even with the Blake Bortles benching and Cody starting. Because there's loyalists out there, and if you watch Troegs talks, he's a pretty loyal Blake Bortles guy, and what do you got? He's a Blake Bortles. I guess I'm a Blake Bortles sympathizer. I want the dude to do well and stuff like that, but he's just not that good, man. You're just not, man. He didn't really particularly have good numbers in college. They weren't terrible, but they just weren't really that good. And there's like fucking bugs in here. But and I wish the dude well. Did anybody pick him up? Did somebody pick Bortles up? I thought somebody did. I just can't remember who. but they went to Rams. Okay, so he's going to back up Jerk Off, huh? Interesting. Very interesting. Why don't you guys give me about 2 minutes? Give me about 2 minutes. I'm gonna grab a half a smoke, and I'll be back. If you guys aren't here, that's cool. But yeah, give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna grab a half a smoke and take a hit of this beer here. Oh my weenies. Fucking bugs. I'll tell you what though, around here, man, it was a really it was a really nice evening this evening, man. It was really nice. I was very impressed with the weather today. Well, I'll just smoke in the house. Yeah, it was so nice. We had to put the AC on today. It was God, it felt like 90. You know, you're going from 40s, 50s, and 60s all of a sudden. You know, out of nowhere, it's like 85, 90 out. That's Cleveland weather, man. We have a saying here. I probably said it before, but I'll say it again. It's if you don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes. That's Cleveland weather right there. It's almost true all year round, you know. Oh, the beer. The beer is good. Oh, I drank the Guinness right out of that. Yeah, that's a pretty good wheat beer. That's pretty good. When I heard that unfiltered beers, there was no difference in taste. It was only, almost like with your orange juice. You know, you got pulp, you got no pulp, and they're both delicious. They both taste really good. There's no real difference. That's what I heard about these beers, and so far I think it's probably right. I don't know necessarily if the unfiltered made it better, and I don't necessarily know if the unfiltered made it more attractive for beer drinkers. It's a good looking beer regardless, but I didn't see a bunch of nutrients or ingredients floating around or anything that I could see. It looked like your regular standard wheat beer, you know, which I wasn't shocked by it, but I thought it would be a little bit more cloudy. Maybe distinguishing a few more ingredients than you would normally. It's good beer though. There's no doubt about that, and they're all expensive. You know, you have a 6-pack around here without any sin tax. You're going to pay $10 for a 6. You know, and it's worth it. You know, it's not. These aren't garbage beers. You know, they're not just charging you a lot of money. They're good. But yeah, that's my first experience with the unfiltered beer, and it's a good one. And I don't mean to moderate it with the difference between the unfiltered and filtered talk. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, there we go. Oh, jerk off, yeah. So we're almost ready to make another one. Is that good? So who do we got out there? Who's watching us? Is it Bob and who else? Because the brew left. So we got 2 people watching us. Or is it some kind of? Oh wow, it's almost 1 o'clock. Some bitch. I'm still feeling pretty good. I'm not. These aren't whooping my ass or anything. not terribly, you know. But I do appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging out and bullshitting. You guys got any feelings on Ben and what's been going on with them besides the normal drama with you know, the AB and all that shit? You know, it does look like he's buckling down. So, and I think that's a good thing. I do want to beat a very good Ben Roethlisberger, and we're going to see it this year. I think there's going to be some battles, and it's going to be fun, and we can hopefully rekindle that love-hate relationship. Because I do think the talk of the Browns and all the shit that we're hearing about them, and I guess I'm partisan to that, you know. With my own prediction, but you know, it's a very small channel. Ain't nobody, you know, I'm not realistically, I'm not necessarily spreading the word like the media does, but I thought it was really funny, the concerns, even with our camp about predictions moderating a little bit, and it wasn't it wasn't a come out, stop making predictions kind of thing. The media was like that, but because it's all on paper now, that's I hear that every year. You know, everything's always looking good, everything's always looking forward, everything's always looking better. And we get that before the start of the season that, you know, it's all on paper. They haven't played a game yet, but this year is going to be a very good year for us in my prediction. And there's a lot of reasons for it, a lot more than we've ever had. So I still stand behind that in my opinion, or we're going to go very far. But like I said, you know, I think the Ravens and the Steelers are still very good. And I think that's good. Just to reiterate what I said earlier and in other episodes of the Rudy G. Functional. But yeah. So how you guys doing? We got 2 left, don't we? You guys doing well tonight? You guys being safe and just hanging around home? Did you guys go out and have a good time tonight and you're just kind of hanging out and having a nightcap, or what's going on there? What are you guys drinking? Even if you don't drink, that's fine. You know, you're drinking Pepsi or root beer floats or something. Or, I don't know. You guys might be away, and that's okay. We are almost ready for another one, and that is a pretty good wheat beer. Yeah, that's a really good. It's light enough, but it's got some of it is remnants from, you know, it's got really great webbing, which I really appreciate. I really do like that. I like my glass to have character, you know. But yeah, that's about it. I think I kind of said everything I'm going to say on the whole Ben wants to beat the Browns thing. And I know it seems like somewhat of a stupid headline for this episode, but I just kind of wanted to remind everybody that Ben loves beating the Browns, man. You know, all the Browns fans out there, I wanted to remind them that he does. Yeah, he likes whooping the Browns. And he still wants to keep whooping them. And that excites me because it makes any kind of win that much more valuable, I think. I mean, that's how I am as a Browns fan right now, as I appraise myself. I want to beat the best Ben. I want I want Ben at his best. And I want to be battle tested if we make the playoffs, when we make the playoffs, right? So that was the theme of tonight, you know. And I don't think I'm going to stick around too much longer. I am going to have another beer, but I'm kind of talked out. I think you guys are awesome. I know you guys are kind of petering out. It's getting late. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm running out of shit to flap my big ass lips about. So I'm going to get off. And you guys are awesome. I really appreciate all our subscribers, man. You guys are really cool. You guys have always been really cool. And I really appreciate, since I started this channel, you guys were always really cool, even through our, what would you call them, our commentary streams of the games. And I don't know, maybe next week, maybe I'll, I don't know, maybe I'll pick up the acoustic or something. I don't know. It's kind of hard to find shit to talk about because we're kind of in off season, and I almost like petered out on the Browns a little bit. Obviously, it's not over, and I don't want to talk about Odell not being in OTAs and stuff like that, and a lot of the gossip kind of bullshit. You know, I really try to keep that out and try to keep fundamentals and analytics and that type of stuff. And everybody kind of says it already, so I don't like to be like that. I don't like to be redundant from what other people say. And because there's so many great channels out there, and not just Browns guys, but you know, Engravens is another great channel that kind of does the whole NFL, and it usually sticks with. Well, I don't want to say usually, but often sticks with the NFC North. But he's a Ravens guy, and he does the Ravens news and kind of the AFC North news. A lot of the stuff comes out of that, but he's a pretty cool channel. I like watching him, and he seems like a really good dude. Nice, family oriented, doing the right thing kind of guy. So he was always really cool to watch, and he's not a fucking knucklehead. And he may or may not, but I think he feels the way I do. I think he very much wants the Ravens battle tested too. I don't think he's the type of dude that wants to know that, okay, we'll just skip over the Browns because those are 2 wins for the year. I don't think he's that kind of dude. He seems a little excited that the Browns are going to be some serious competition now, and I respect that. That's really cool. And he's very respectful for his patrons and subscribers. And it's another cool thing to see when you enter the YouTube market, that there's a lot of guys out there that aren't just talking shit and really care about football. And there's a lot of guys out there. A lot of the guys that I subscribe to are really, they just love football. They love keeping it real. He's one of them, and I try to watch everything I can on him, But wow, I need another beer. Yeah, but hey, God bless you guys. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. You guys be safe, and I don't know. Maybe next week I'll break out the acoustic and we'll explore the acoustic a little bit, because there isn't really much going on, but I want to keep rocking, and that's, I guess it's every pun intended. And the acoustic is fun to explore, and I think a lot of people dig that. So we might do something like that. And I might do in the middle of the week. One of my son's buddies, like I said, brews some of his own stuff. And I have one of his beers in the fridge, so we might remove. Well, we're going to remove it from the fridge, and I'm going to place the shit on my big ass lips, and we might review it this week, sometime during the week. kind of a holiday week, and there's a lot not going on with the NFL. So it was kind of, I almost did the acoustic thing tonight, but it's kind of a weird night. So I want to kind of wait for the right time. But yeah, I think we might do that next week. Maybe some acoustic stuff and talk guitar and music or something like that. So we might branch off just a little bit, just to, make it a little more interesting and maybe stick around a little bit more and talk music, football, whatever you guys want to talk about. So, I mean, this is subject oriented, but as we branch out during the evening, we'll talk about other stuff, and we're not total like we got to talk football jerks here. So we love you guys. God bless you guys, and peace out, man. You guys have a nice weekend. You guys be safe. Everybody drive sober if you're driving. Make it home. Make it back to your families, man. God bless you. Peace.